Have you ever pondered the quest to enhance your vibrational essence? Brace yourself, for we're about to delve into a seldom discussed truth, a narrative unfiltered about the elevation of one's vibration, the side often left unspoken. You've aimed to ascend vibrationally, yet let us not cloak the reality. The journey is fraught with challenges. This endeavor isn't solely about basking in positivity and high energies. As you ascend this vibrational echelon, anticipate encounters with discomfort, akin to a soul's gym session, exerting and sweating spiritually. Unlike physical exertion, this spiritual discomfort comes unexpectedly. Navigating this path lacks a clear map. The unforeseen lies just around each bend, resembling a venture through a mist-enshrouded forest, where the destination is obscured, yet forward you tread. This discomfort, rather than being a detour, forms an integral piece of the voyage. We unravel a contentious aspect of vibrational elevation, the myth of perpetual bliss. The narrative often painted as one of ceaseless joy and an unceasingly radiant existence. Yet reality paints a different picture. The pursuit of higher vibration is not synonymous with eternal euphoria. Contrary to the idyllic vision, life, even on a heightened vibrational plane, is interspersed with its tempests, overcast moments, and genuine tribulations. The expectation of constant bliss sets a pedestal of unrealistic standards, leading to disillusionment. Life's essence is not an endless summer's day. It's a tapestry of varied seasons. Elevating your vibration does not erect a barricade against life's trials. It equips you with a more refined toolkit for navigation, enhancing resilience amidst life's undulating landscape. On the winding path that leads us to the elevation of our vibration, the first colossal challenge we encounter is the confrontation with the ego. The ego. That cunning and crafty entity residing at the core of our being, weaving illusions of separation and supremacy. It is the ego, whispering incessantly in our ears, tales of grandiosity and false autonomy that distance us from the true divine essence within us. The journey to elevate one's vibration is, at its core, a journey back to the heart, to the pure core of our being, where the ego does not reign, but serves. However, to reach this state of ego surrender, one must first recognize its dominant presence. This recognition is not an act of war, but an act of love. A love so deep and all-encompassing that it accepts the ego as a part of us, but not the entirety of our being. Confronting the ego requires courage. The courage to look into the mirror of the soul and see beyond the masks, the constructed identities, the roles we play. It is facing the void without falling into the trap of despair, but with the certainty that beyond the ego, there is an unchanging light, a divine spark that connects us to all that exists. In this process of confrontation, it is common to feel lost, as if we are dismantling the very foundation of our world. But it is in this apparent chaos that the opportunity for rebirth lies. Like the phoenix rising from its ashes, we emerge from this confrontation not diminished but expanded, more aware of the vastness we are beyond the ego. The challenge then is not to extinguish the ego, but to integrate it, understanding that it is just a part of the vast spectrum of our being. It is learning to dance with it without allowing it to lead the dance. It is recognizing its tactics of fear, separation, and judgment, and consciously choosing the path of love, unity, and compassion. True vibrational elevation begins with the humility to admit that we are not omnipotent, but eternally connected to a divine source that guides and sustains us. By embracing this journey, stripping away the need for control and superiority that the ego so craves, we open our hearts to true transformation. A transformation that not only elevates us but uplifts the entire cosmos. For by recognizing our intrinsic divinity, we acknowledge the divinity in all things, and therefore may this first step on the journey of vibrational elevation be an invitation to dive into the depths of your being, beyond the ego, where true magic resides. In the second milestone of our journey of vibrational elevation, we find ourselves facing the monumental task of releasing limiting beliefs. These beliefs, woven into the fabric of our existence since the earliest days of our lives, function as invisible shackles that restrict our flight toward the boundless potential residing within each of us. Limiting beliefs are like old stories told repeatedly until we accept them as unquestionable truths. They shape our perceptions, influence our decisions, and, more insidiously, limit our ability to dream beyond the confines imposed on us, whether by society, family, or past experiences. Confronting these beliefs is no trivial feat. It requires a willingness to dive into the depths of our own soul, illuminate dark corners with the light of awareness, and question what we have considered to be the foundation of our reality. It is an act of courage to unearth these roots, for they are often intertwined with our identity and sense of belonging. The release of these beliefs begins with awareness. We must first identify these limiting narratives that tell us, "I am not good enough. I am not capable. I do not deserve love or abundance." With this identification, the process of dismantling begins, where each belief is examined in the light of truth, the truth that we are infinite beings, endowed with creative power and worthy of immeasurable love and prosperity. This process is akin to the unfolding of a flower. Initially, the petals are tightly closed, protecting the core. However, with the warmth and light of the sun, they begin to unfurl, revealing the hidden beauty within. Similarly, by exposing our limiting beliefs to the light of consciousness, we allow the true essence of who we are to emerge in all its magnificence. The release of these beliefs is also a process of forgiveness. Forgiving ourselves for having believed in them and forgiving those who, intentionally or unintentionally, reinforced them within us. It is an act of self-love that liberates us from the chains of the past and opens us to a future of limitless possibilities. An inevitable phenomenon stands before us: the shifting of relationships. This transformation, though it may appear challenging, is a fundamental stage in the journey of those seeking a deeper connection with their own essence and the universe. As our frequency changes like an antenna tuning into new stations, we begin to realize that some of the bonds that once connected us to certain people no longer resonate in the same harmony as before. This process of changing relationships is like a dance where the music changes in tone and rhythm. Some dance partners remain with us, adapting to the new tempo, while others step away, seeking melodies that better align with their own vibrations. It's a metamorphosis that, while it may bring a sense of loss, also creates space for new connections that reflect our current state of being. Recognizing and accepting these changes requires a deep understanding that each person in our life is a teacher, a mirror through which we can see aspects of ourselves, learn, and evolve. As we grow, our needs, desires, and understandings also transform, and naturally, our relationships adjust to reflect these inner changes. The change in relationships is, therefore, an invitation to introspection and self-questioning. It's a time to reflect on what we value, what we need for our growth, and how we can authentically and deeply relate to those we choose to have by our side. This process may involve farewells, but it is also filled with welcomes to new souls entering our lives, bringing new perspectives, experiences, and opportunities for expansion. In this context, it is crucial to practice the art of loving detachment, learning to release with gratitude those who are following other paths, honoring the roles they played in our journey, is an expression of pure love and an understanding that true connection transcends the limitations of space and time. Every relationship, whether brief or enduring, is a blessing and a lesson on our path. By embracing changes in our relationships with an open heart and a serene mind, we affirm our trust in the flow of life and the wisdom of the universe, which always guides us toward experiences that serve our highest good. This is an act of faith in the evolutionary journey of the soul, an acceptance that we are all interconnected in a cosmic dance of growth, learning, and love. Therefore, let us face changes in our relationships not as losses, but as necessary steps toward greater authenticity and alignment with our true essence. May each encounter and farewell be experienced with gratitude, knowing that in the grand tapestry of life, every thread has its place and purpose, in the divine design of the universe. In the weaving of this path of vibrational ascension, we are at times confronted with solitude, a deafening silence that resonates within the chambers of our being. This encounter with solitude is not a mere coincidence or a cruelty of fate, but a sacred invitation to the deepest meeting with oneself. In the stillness of this solitude, far from the turmoil of the external world and ceaseless distractions, we are called to immerse ourselves in the tranquil waters of our innermost being, where true wisdom resides. This solitude, often feared and avoided, is in fact a fertile ground for growth and self-exploration. It is a state of being that allows us to hear the gentle yet firm voice of our essence, speaking of unexpressed desires, dormant dreams, and untapped strength awaiting recognition. In solitude, we are invited to make peace with ourselves, to embrace all our nuances, our lights and shadows, and to find a sense of wholeness that depends on no one but our own company. Confronting solitude is a rite of passage on the spiritual journey, a trial by fire that burns away the illusions of separation and reveals the interconnectedness of all things. Learning to be alone, without feeling lonely, is to discover that we are a universe unto ourselves, brimming with mysteries to be unveiled, stars to be named, and galaxies to be explored. It is to understand that solitude is not an absence, but a sacred space for encountering the divine that resides within us. However, accepting solitude and learning to cultivate a loving relationship with one's own company is not a process that happens overnight. It requires patience, self-compassion, and the courage to face what emerges from the silence. It is an invitation to dance to the rhythm of one's own heart, to create, dream, and be in fullness without the need for external approval or validation. In this sacred encounter with solitude, we discover that we are not truly alone, but eternally accompanied by the subtle presence of the universe that dances within us and through us. Solitude then becomes a gateway to freedom, a portal through which we can access a joy and peace that remain unshaken by external circumstances. One of the most transformative, albeit often painful, chapters is confronting spiritual disillusionments. These disillusionments, though they may seem discouraging obstacles, are, in fact, precious disguised lessons offered by the universe to strip us of unfounded expectations and reconnect us with the true essence of the spiritual journey. Spiritual disillusionments arise when the realities we encounter challenge our preconceived beliefs about what it means to be spiritually evolved. We might have believed that, upon reaching a certain vibrational frequency, we would be immune to life's adversities, that pain and suffering would be foreign to us, or that our paths would always be illuminated by the light of clarity and certainty. However, spirituality does not exempt us from life's storms. It provides us with an anchor, a beacon to navigate the turbulent waters with a deeper presence of mind. Spiritual disillusionments teach us that enlightenment is not a final destination where all challenges dissipate, but an ongoing process of awakening, learning, and growing. They remind us that every fall, every obstacle, is an opportunity to deepen our connection with the divine, to cultivate resilience, and to expand our understanding of what it means to live a spiritually rich life. As we face these disillusionments, we are invited to release idealized images of spiritual perfection and embrace the imperfect beauty of our humanity. We are called to recognize that true wisdom resides not in the absence of pain, but in the ability to find peace and purpose even in the face of adversity. This is the true spiritual alchemy, transforming the lead of our disillusionments into the golden lessons of love, compassion, and acceptance. This process of confronting spiritual disillusionments is, therefore, an invitation to humility, surrender, and deep trust in the greater wisdom that guides the universe. It is a reminder that we are here not only to transcend earthly life but to live it fully, with all its complexities, beauties, and pains. May we then embrace spiritual disillusionments as severe yet gentle teachers who free us from the bonds of limiting illusions and open us to the true greatness of our journey. And as we emerge from these moments of disillusionment, may we do so with more open hearts, wiser souls, and a renewed commitment to walk the earth with our eyes fixed on the stars, recognizing that every step, every stumble, is an integral part of life's divine dance. We are inevitably confronted with the challenge of discerning truth from illusion. This process, although complex and often bewildering, is fundamental to our spiritual and vibrational evolution. Carl Jung, the eminent Swiss psychiatrist and psychologist, emphasized the importance of this discernment, suggesting that true transformation often requires the destruction of the old to make way for the creation of the new. This perspective invites us to embrace the contrast between what is real and what is merely a reflection of our limited perceptions. The state of elevated vibration is not a constant plateau, but a dynamic flow that oscillates with our experiences, learnings, and above all, our ability to detach from what no longer serves our growth. Elevated vibration, therefore, is not just about achieving a state of permanent well-being, but about the willingness to traverse the valleys of shadows with the awareness that every experience, whether of light or shadow, contributes to our expansion. Seeing the contrast between truth and illusion is like walking on the edge of a precipice, where on one side lies the safety of the known, but limiting, and on the other, the vast unknown, brimming with potentialities. Truth in this context is recognized not only by the mind but by the heart and soul. It is wisdom that resonates with the core of our being, guiding us beyond appearances and the veils of illusion. Illusion, on the other hand, is often woven from the threads of our fears, desires, and attachments. It manifests as a distorted reality, a construct that imprisons us in cycles of suffering and limitation. Illusion seduces us with promises of comfort and security, but at the cost of our true freedom and growth. The transition from one vibrational state to another often requires the destruction of the old, an implosion of obsolete structures that defined us, thus allowing the emergence of a new being, reconfigured by truth and love. It's an alchemical process where the lead of our illusions is transmuted into the gold of our authentic essence. Carl Jung reminds us that shadow and light are two sides of the same coin, and that recognizing and integrating our shadow is indispensable in the journey of becoming whole. Elevated vibration, therefore, is not a state of denial of the shadow but of integration and transcendence, where true light emerges from darkness, not as an opposite, but as a complement. At some point in our vibrational elevation, we are invited to face one of the deepest and most transformative challenges, accepting the shadow and the need to process past traumas. This process, essential for ascension, asks us to delve into the depths of our soul, where forgotten wounds, silenced fears, and unspoken truths that have shaped our being until this moment reside. The shadow, a term coined by Carl Jung, represents those parts of ourselves that, for various reasons, we have decided to hide, repress, or deny. These are aspects that, although unwanted, are an integral part of who we are. Accepting the shadow does not mean resigning oneself to darkness, but recognizing that light is only complete when accompanied by its counterpart. It is understanding that the totality of being encompasses both light and darkness, and that true ascension involves the harmonization of these two poles. Processing past traumas is, in turn, a journey that takes us to the core of our deepest pains, to those moments when our essence was shaken, leaving scars that often determine how we relate to the world and ourselves. Dealing with these traumas requires courage, as it implies revisiting episodes of our lives that we would prefer to forget. However, it is only through this confrontation that we can release the weight that these past experiences impose on our shoulders, allowing us to ascend to a state of being that is lighter, freer, and more authentic. Accepting the shadow and processing past traumas are acts of self-love. They challenge us to look inward with compassion, to offer ourselves the empathy and care that we may not have received at the time of the trauma. It is a healing process that frees us from the chains of the past, making room for the manifestation of a reality aligned with our purest and highest essence. This path is not walked without tears, without moments of doubt, or without feeling the pain that comes with release. However, every step taken in this direction is a step toward freedom. As we accept our shadow and heal our traumas, our vibration naturally rises, not because we run away from the darkness, but because we learn to dance with it, to integrate it into our being in a way that it no longer controls us, but contributes to the richness and depth of our human experience. Elevating one's vibration at the core of its essence transcends the mere pursuit of fleeting well-being or escape from the shadows that weave the tapestry of our existence. It is an invitation to a cosmic dance, a symphony where each note resonates with the universe's melody. It means embracing the totality of being, recognizing that we are made of both light and darkness and that every aspect of our existence contributes to the splendor of what we truly are. Elevating one's vibration is embarking on a journey back home, to the divine core that resides within each of us. It is a process of awakening, where illusions unravel and truth reveals itself in its glorious fullness. It's not about transcending the human condition, but diving deeply into it, with the courage to face every challenge, every pain, and every joy as a portal to expanded consciousness. On this path, we learn that true elevation isn't a destination to be reached, but a state of being to be experienced moment by moment. It's finding the sacred in the ordinary, recognizing divinity in each breath, each gaze, each touch. Elevating one's vibration is, in essence, living with an open heart, in a state of perpetual love and gratitude, where each step is an affirmation of our inseparable connection to all that is. Thus, may we understand that elevating one's vibration is an act of profound love. Love for oneself, for others, for life. It's a conscious choice to live authentically and fully, honoring the magic and mystery of our human journey. May this elevation be a guiding light, not only towards our own ascension, but also towards collective awakening, where, together, we create a new reality woven with the golden threads of compassion, wisdom, and unity. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts and feelings about all of this? I'd love to read in the comments, share with special ones. Be awake and remember, freedom through knowledge, transformation through perception.